Welcome to the Wild Preacher's Kid podcast. This is your favorite Wild PK. Yes, it's a lady, Alicia, and I just have some encouragement for you. It's 6 a.m. and I want to share some things with you. I recently had a birthday, and when you have big Hallmark birthdays, like when you turn 25 or 30, 35, 40, so on and so on, you start to reevaluate some of the things that you've gone through, where you currently are, and where you want to be. And I wanted to encourage somebody today. Just a little feedback. Last year was a pruning season for me. And not in the sense of like, everything must go. If you're not for me, you're against me. And it was a pruning season for myself. I had became very, very much aware that I was taking on responsibilities and roles in other people's lives that I wasn't responsible for. And I had put myself there. Now, I know I'm not the only one who has good intentions and are passionate and love hard, and they take moments to be joy in other people's lives. And I realized last year how damaging that was to me, because I was in a place where I needed someone to drop everything for me and to love on me and to care about me. And I didn't have it emotionally, mentally, even spiritually. I had been running a business, mom of 2 toddlers. I do ministry. For me, it feels like full-time, even though it's not technically full-time. And I'm a wife, and even with my marriage, it was suffering. And it's just because it took me a minute to realize that I wasn't being present. Have you been in a place where you're doing all the things and you're still not, you're just coasting? And that's where I was last year around this time. And I was struggling really bad. And God was like, why are you trying to be God for everybody? And I was insulted when he checked me last year, because normally around my birthday, they do a corporate fast. And I had participated last year. And I was like, God, I just need revelation like no other. And right after that, I literally had a mental breakdown. And, and I'm working my way through it, through therapy and accountability, and just being more mindful of my mental health as well. But when he said that, I was like, ain't no way you gonna come for me like that, God. Like, I know you're God. I trust you. I believe you. I'm a believer, and I can't do the things that you do. He was like, yeah, but you're showing up for people in a way that if you were God, this is how you would do it. And I was like, I can't believe that. But after I had my little breakdown and I started going to therapy, and my therapist said the same thing. She was like, why are you so concerned about everybody else failing and not allowing them to walk the journey that they're meant to go on? And I was bawling like a baby because I think it's because I came to the conclusion that I felt like, with my parents being in ministry full time, even though they were volunteers or it actually was like a full-time job for them, I felt neglected myself, and I felt overlooked, and I felt that they didn't see me struggling, and I didn't want to I didn't want the people that I was telling that I cared about them and that I loved them, see them fail and not be there for them. And I am the type of person where I prepare my life sometimes around other people doing things. I shared with a friend the other day that, she was going through a separation at the time, and I was making preparations for her to come stay with us because I could see that she wouldn't have had anywhere to go. And this is months before certain things happened where she did have to come stay with us, months before. But I was preparing my home for that. Or even right now, we're house hunting. The house that I was we need to get this type of house because, one day if my in-laws don't have somewhere to stay, they can come stay with us. And I just, I want to be a good daughter, and I want to be a good daughter-in-law. I want to be a good friend. I want to be a good sister. And it's this idea that if they were to ever need me, I could provide for them in a way where they'd be so thankful and grateful, where when there was moments where I needed somebody to be that provider for me, that I really would just be so thankful and grateful that they were there for me. And God had to check me, and he was like, but I want to do that for you. It's something as simple as him wanting to be a provider for me, to stand in a gap with me, to fight with me. And it's there's moments where I'm even now, it's like, God, I don't feel you sometimes, and I don't see you, and I don't hear you. And it's scary to be in a position where you're in need of a provider. And Wednesday night, we're doing altar nights at my local church. And there was a moment of kind of silence in the sanctuary. And we're doing more like a corporate prayer during the fast. And I started to cry, and it's I started to remember all the things that God has done for me, how he's kept me, that even when my mind was going every which way, he was still present with me. And he's still reminding me that he's with me through all of the moments of me being in and out of relationship with him, in moments of me saying I don't want anything to do with him, in moments where I was believing really hard for something that I thought was for me and it didn't happen, and it's because it didn't need to happen. He was there with me. Moments where I wish didn't happen in my life, and he was still there with me. And when I think about it, that's all that God wants to do. He just wants to be there with you. And here I am running around trying to prove to everybody else that God is real, because through my actions, that's how God is showing up. And some of it is performative. Some of it is, if I could just be transparent for anybody who's listening to this, some of it is just wanting to kind of get people on my side to do the same thing for me. And it's it's manipulative, it's dangerous, it's toxic. And it led to me just having a full-on emotional breakdown by myself. And it took maybe a whole week of just being in that moment of just not feeling stable. And I think for the first time when it came to my health, God was like, even in this moment, I'm with you. It's just me and you. Yeah, I have family. Yeah, I have sisters. Yeah, I have a brother. Yeah, I have mom and dad. Yeah, I have a husband. Yeah, I have church family, a spiritual father. I have friends that they care about me and they love me. And, outside of the basic thing of just saying, I'm doing too much, really, like, that's really that's how I explain it to others in my circle, like my core. I'll be like, man, I just realized I was doing too much. Not like, sometimes you tell yourself, you'd be like, I'm doing too much because I'm over here, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It's like, yeah, that was a part of it, but like, truthfully, I'm doing too much. And I'm so thankful that all the way up until that point, God is still with me. Like he saw me doing all of these kind gestures, because that's really what they were. They were kind gestures. But it was me trying to manipulate a sense of safety and a sense of care and love that I hadn't felt before, or trying to prove my worth to people who weren't on my list to truly care for like that. And the Lord told me, he was like, so what do you want to do with you stripping yourself of my role in people's lives? And I was like, okay, well, let me write down the people who I feel like I'm pouring into and it feels like there's no bottom. And it boiled down to 10 people. Now, I promise you, it was a very hard thing to do, especially after the first person. The first person ripped me a new one. They were upset. How dare I stop the resources that I have to help them and do for them and provide for them and be there for them? How dare I do that? How dare I? That's not Christ-like. That's not Christ-like to not, for some, it was sending money for gas. And it's like, for me, it's like, okay, well, gas is not too much, but like, it's like not realizing the pattern. You're always calling. You're always asking. And I'm like, I did it last time, I'll do it again. If I have it to give, I'll give it. And not having boundaries with my own finances. It's like, I want to buy a house, but we're in a place where it feels like we're living paycheck to paycheck. But it's because I'm giving it away to certain people who are irresponsible with their own paycheck. And how am I supposed to bear the weight of two or three or four households? Just even if it's just that simple. Now, I'm not saying don't be generous. I'm not saying don't be a giver. I'm not saying don't be a blessing, because I'm a firm believer in that. I still believe in being a blessing. But it was I hate to say it this way, it was at the point where I was hurting my family, and it didn't and it's not like I was giving like thousands of dollars or anything like that, but it's giving from a place where, when you're supposed to give from a place of overflow, like when they say my cup runneth over, you're not supposed to give from the actual cup itself. You're supposed to give from the overflow. But I was giving from my cup. I was making sacrifices for myself so that I can give from my cup. So things that I like to do, or, things that I would do to treat myself, like, or as simple as getting my nails done, getting my hair done. Like, I'm natural. I normally, I recently had cut my hair on the sides and had like a fro hawk, and I absolutely loved it. But when I started noticing that when people were asking for things, I didn't have it. I was like, well, you know what? I won't do my haircut this time. I'll do it next month. Or I'll do it around this time. Or I won't get my nails done. I'll do it next time. And I think that I told myself that I was doing it for my kids. But when I started looking at like my finances and how I was spending the money, because I would whenever I send people money, I do it through Cash App and I count it. I'm not saying that I regret it, but I was appalled at how quickly I was willing to do it and how often I was willing to do it. And whether it was a friend or an associate or someone that I felt was, that like God would put them on my heart and put them on my mind. And so I would try and do something nice for them. It's like, but to calculate all of those blessings. And I was like, man, I'm not saying I'm providing for anybody, but I'm stepping in to bless somebody in this moment. And I'm suffering. I'm crying because I can't take care of myself. I've let myself go. I'm in a state of depression. I need somebody, I needed somebody to probably watch my kids for me so I could have like a day to myself, or to take some time to do some self-care and do it maybe like every once in a while. And I was giving that away to somebody else constantly. And it's like, God just kept reminding me, he's like, I'm here for you. And I'm like, well, like, where are you at? And what are you doing? And why can't you just, the issue that I had was, why don't I have more money? Why don't I have more money? Right now, I live in a situation where my husband is the sole provider, and I do projects or side hustles. I work for my church as the media director there. I do graphic designs for like logos and just make flyers, and those are like one-off projects that I like to participate in. And then I also do training courses for media as well, virtual classes, and those are fun to do, and I can do them at my time and at my pace. And I think the other thing is that, it's little bits of income to come into my household so I can do the things that I want to do. And I just wasn't seeing the harvest of it. And God was like, you asked for more resources and you're giving it all away. Like, it's so crazy. And I think we all do that from time to time. We all get to a place where we're wanting to do the good thing. We're wanting to make a connection. We want people to show up for us. So we try to show them that they can rely on us, and we will show up for them. And there's a moment where everything comes to a head and you realize it's like, this is not what I wanted. This is not the life that I needed. This is not the life that I was expecting to happen. And even in that moment, God is still there. Like, it's so crazy. Like, he's still there with us. And I just want to encourage somebody else to remember those moments that God is still there with you. Like, even when you're unsure, even when you've made the mistake, even when you feel like you're far from his presence, even when you think that it's unredeemable, even when you have done things that you just are like, I couldn't forgive myself. And it's like, he's so loving, kind, and patient, and he wants to walk the mile with you. He wants to be in the room with you. He wants to be your supporter. He wants to clap you up. He wants to set you up for the layup. He wants to walk hand in hand with you. I don't care if you're grieving. I don't care if you're at the peak of success. I don't care where it is. He wants to be there with you. And I think that there's moments where we as people get in the way of doing that for ourselves, allowing God to show up for us in a way. And for others, like there's somebody out there doing exactly what I've done, which is just try to play God in someone else's life. Not saying controlling or trying to be like the end all be all, but for someone else. But I truly believe that I've been in a place and in a space where God is taking me to a completely different level in my belief system, in my walk with Him. And the overall theme is that He just wants to be with us. Like, I was telling a friend the other day that before religion was a thing, before services were a thing, before like all the things that we do when it comes to ministry and church, before all those things became things, the only thing God wanted was relationship. He wanted an unfiltered relationship with us. Like, He just walked with Adam in the garden. Like, when I think about that, He didn't create a system upon system. This is how I want my church. You need to be like this. They need to be like that. It is one of the biggest things that I struggle with when it comes to ministry. Sometimes we can make church about, or religion about, all these other things that I feel like don't even matter to the Lord. I am learning to read my Bible more. I am learning to be more of an intercessor and pray more. I've always been a worshiper at heart, but now I've tapped into this realm of like, God, just show me you. Show me you. I want to be Adam in the garden with you, where I'm having my day and I can feel you sitting next to me. And I think that's my heart's desire right now, to just know Him. And when He's talking to me, I hear Him and I'm obedient and I'm listening and I'm not just doubting. Like, even this right now, this is me doing what God told me to do at 6:00 in the morning. I've been up for almost an hour and a half, and I was like, God, what would you have me to do in this moment? And He was like, pick up your phone and record. I want you to share with someone what you're thinking, how you're feeling, and I want to keep doing this. And I hope this encourages somebody that you don't have to have it all together, but you also don't have to put everybody else's lives together as well. For someone out there who feels like the strong friend, and I feel like that's me, and if you can relate to that, put down the assignment of them and pick up the assignment of yourself. You deserve to be first in your life. You deserve to have someone care about you and love you the way you deserve. And other than the Lord, no one else is going to do that if you don't do it for yourself. Like I started off saying about my mental health, I'm so much better now than I've ever been in my whole entire life. And I'm still navigating this thing. I'm still seeking medical attention for it. I'm still doing therapy for it. I'm still communicating, trying to educate myself about what I'm dealing with and how I'm feeling. And the fact that I've been graced to be in this season, I'm thankful. There was a moment where I didn't think that I would be here this year. And here I am, after a birthday, after a tough season in my life, and I feel closer to God now than I've ever in my whole entire life. So I want to encourage you. Put down everybody else. If you feel like, and I hear it already, somebody saying, if I put my family down, well, who's going to take care of them? God will. Do you believe in him or not? I know we doubt it sometimes. Like, I'm good for that. I'll be like, God, are you there? Are you doing this? Like, where are you? But I can promise you, the more and more I started allowing the dead weight to fall off of me, the better I felt. Those same 10 people, only 2 of them understood where I was coming from. Only 2 of them could hear my heart. Only 2 of them could see what I was trying to communicate, that I had overstepped a boundary, and I had put myself in a place where I felt like you couldn't make it without me. And that was awful. And I apologized to them. And I told them that I still love them and I still care about them. But I have to, in this season, put myself first. Only 2 people out of the 10 understood that. And it was hard. It was hard to have those conversations, but it was necessary. I feel so much better. And it wasn't just them. It was even my spouse. It's like, I'm trying to help you understand me. I'm trying to help you be your best self and figure out who you want to be and have the job that you want to have. And you say that, like, you want to be this type of father. And I'm trying to communicate. And I think not that I've given up on him, but it's like, it's not my responsibility to reveal all of these things to you. It's my responsibility to hold you accountable, because I'm your partner. I'm your wife. I'm supposed to hold you accountable. But at the same time, like, if you choose not to, hey, it's up to you. Hey, if you don't want to do this thing, that's fine. Sooner than later, I guess, but it's up to you. And the more and more I started doing that and not making a fuss about everything, I started to feel better. Like, everything doesn't make me upset. And if you have kids under 2, I let me tell you something. We are champions, okay? If you are a person who is raising 2 kids under the age of 2, God bless you. God bless you right where you at. And if you're dealing with a situation where you are dealing with people who are constantly in need of you, and you feel like you don't have a moment to yourself, God bless you. Because that's all I'm really dealing with. I have 2 people who need me constantly, and there's no breaks for the weary. Like, dear God, help us, But I will say, other than my kids, because they're my responsibility, I have to do the things for them. And I want to. I prayed for them, so I'm thankful. But anybody else, I don't have room. I no longer have room. I have no room on my shelf for them. Like, my shelf was breaking. Like, it almost was broken. It was holding on. Like, I would like to say my shelf was mahogany, and it had one thread of wood fiber holding it together. And this past year, God was just putting a glue back to it. He reinforced it with some word. And showed me where I was bleeding out, showed me where I was overextending myself. He helped me set some healthy boundaries. He helped me be a better friend to myself. I know that sounds kind of weird, but it's true though. I was not being kind to myself. I wasn't being a friend to myself. I wasn't being loving to myself. I wasn't being a good person to myself. I was being good to everybody else but myself. And I think it's because I felt like if I put it out there, then it would return to me. And someone else would take up that mantle of being that for me. And it's like, that wasn't fair. And that's why I say it was toxic. Because if I expected somebody to do something after everything that I've done, whether it was prompted or not, it's me doing too much. And I am sitting there with this person and I'm talking to them and they go, oh man, well, I'm gonna pray for you. It's like, no, I need your help. I need your help. And I could say that and they'd be like, well, I have this to do and I have this other thing to do, and it's just crazy. And I get mad that they chose themselves over me in that moment. It's like, I don't ask you for anything. I don't need you for anything. But in this one moment, I'm like begging you to be here for me and not even do anything crazy. Like, in my mind, crazy would be, pay for my living expenses for a year from a friend. Like, that's extreme in my opinion. I'm asking you to give me 3 days without my kids so I can be not touched out and kind of de-escalate from feeling this overwhelming feeling. And you won't do that. You just won't do that. And you have every right to not do that. If it's not you don't want to. You don't want to do that. But in that moment, it feels like, how could you? I feel betrayed. I feel like, how could you not do this thing for me when I've done so much for you? And I think that's how we hold people hostage to an idea and to a relationship that they didn't sign up for. That's when it becomes transactional. That's when it becomes like, I'm thinking I'm making deposits into this relationship, into this friendship, into this situationship. Because outside of what that word means, in my mind, it's like, you could be at work and you're helping somebody at work to do better at their job, and you're asking them to help you in this moment. It's like, we're not real friends, but we're not in that type of relationship. But in this situation, I've been covering you, I've been helping you, I've been trying to assist you with your work assignments, I've been trying to cover you in meetings, put your name on the roster for this, and somebody can say, well, I would never do that. And it's like, yeah, well, that may be something you would never do, but it might be a boyfriend or a girlfriend that you have put up with some poor behavior over and over, trying to show them that you're loyal, or that you understand, or you're patient, or that you're kind. And it's more like them having a poor behavior or doing something that is disrespectful doesn't mean that you have to prove to them, hey, you did this to me, but I know that if I do this, they will stay. And it's like, it is bananas. It's 100% bananas to think like that. And it's me trying to, or I would say, and I'm not a therapist, I'm not licensed to tell nobody what to do or to even make a suggestion. I'm just telling you my experience, and I'm telling you from my perspective that we have to do better for ourselves. We have to take the time to look and evaluate the dead things in our life and see where we're lacking boundaries, see where we're not doing what's best for ourselves, and put God in the midst of it, asking God to reveal those things to us. If you're like me, it's like I didn't want to be alone. And so it's me overcompensating for something that I lacked as a child in a grown up, in another person that didn't sign up for that. And then I'm getting hurt over and over and over because there's an expectation that they're not meeting, and they don't know that I'm expecting them to meet that. And it just keeps going over and over and over, and it's affliction after affliction. And I'm the one who's creating it for myself. It's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. But God is like, even in the midst of you looking for everybody else, I'm still here waiting for you. I'm still here talking to you. I'm still here next to you, and I'm still here. And I want to encourage somebody today, because I'm going to end this with a prayer, that today is the day that you lay it down and you don't pick it up again. I don't care if it's a person. I don't care if it's a past situation that is wreaking havoc in your mind. Like, I trusted you and you failed me. The truth is, you're grieving the loss of the idea in the life or the relationship or the job, the thought of what you thought was going to happen. You're grieving that loss, but you're tormenting yourself by repeating it over and over and over. Lay it down. Lay it all down. If we believe that God is big, if we believe that He can do anything, if we believe that all things work together for my good, lay it down. If you feel like if it's something that's preventing you from moving forward, or you feel like you've done all that you can for certain people, and it's like what that man said, try Jesus, but don't try me. But I want to flip it with the idea that tell them, you know what? You need to try Jesus. You need to try Him now. You need to try Him, because I'm worn out. I'm not strong enough to bear the weight of you in your life and your choices and your responsibilities. Like, I can literally only take care of the ones that I have. That's it. And I want to encourage you to try Jesus. Like, tell them, like, the next time somebody comes to you with a problem, like, I just need to get this off my chest. But if they're always bringing you drama, and it's self-inflicted, you're like, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. You probably need to pray. You probably need to try Jesus. And see what He tells you. And come to me with what He tells you. Now, see, that's how I can support you. You know what? Before you talk to me, I'm going to encourage you to go into prayer and get this all out with the Lord. Try Jesus. And then after you talk to Him, tell me what He says. I'll touch and agree with you. If they go, I don't want to do that, I don't want to, then you can, that is your sign to let them go. To let that burden go. Let those people go. Let that moment go. Even when it comes to trauma. Like, I'm not saying pretend that it did not happen, but grieve it. Put it in the dirt. Cover it up. And walk away from it. And say, I won't live here anymore. I won't live trying to be everything to everyone. I won't live in this moment of fear or distraction. I won't do that anymore. And know that the Lord is with you. Know that He's there to comfort you. Know that there's still more life on the other side. It just doesn't have to be so heavy. He wants to lift the burden off your life. So I'm going to pray. Father God, I say thank you. Thank you for this moment. Thank you for revealing yourself to us in a way that we know that you're here with us, God. Father, I just pray that whoever hears this can take a deep breath in and a deep breath out and feel your presence, Lord. This is not like any other moment. This is a moment of just feeling like it's so heavy. And really what we want to say is that, God, do you see me? Do you hear me? I want someone to love me. I want someone to hold me. I want someone to be there for me. I need your presence, Lord. That's really what we're saying. I don't want to play God in nobody else's life. I don't want to hold on to this dead weight anymore. I don't want to feel this heaviness that is on my life anymore. But I don't know how to live without it. I don't know how to allow people to be themselves. I don't know how to release. So God, grant me the strength to even let go. Grant me the ability to put things in your hands and walk away from it. God, I pray right now that whoever's listening, that your peace, your comfort, your joy rests on them. And the energy of your spirit allows them to walk into this day, to walk into this office meeting, to walk into their home, to walk into their church, knowing that you are with them and that they have peace about all the things that they're dealing with, God. And they're not dealing with it alone. Confirm. Let them feel reassurance that you're there with them. Something as small as a kind gesture. For some, it's finances. For some, it's just being able to have quiet time by themselves, Lord. And somebody saying, I got you. I'll take care of this. Something that small. Lord, show up in a way where they can say, man, God did that for me. So that they can say they remember. And for the ones that are having a hard time letting go of people and feeling like they need to meet the need of these people, God, give them the security to know that you are strong enough for those people. No longer will they be the sacrificial lamb for their family members, their friends, their co-workers, the environment that they're in. No longer will they put everybody else's needs first before their own so that they can be well. No longer will we drink from this fountain of I gotta do it. There's some things that I have to do, but I don't have to do it. I don't have to do everything. I don't have to do all these things. I just have to do what I am responsible for. And for the things that we're responsible for, Lord, let us have the strength to bear that weight. I pray for endurance. I pray for strength. I pray for support. No longer will we do it by ourselves. Some of us are just even struggling to accept assistance and help, whether it's resources or an actual person helping us along the way, Lord. So send us people. Send us people who will uplift us, who will walk with us as well. Just like Adam, he wasn't good alone. Send us people to help us while we are alone. We know you're there, but we do need support. We need people to help us raise our kids and take care of the elderly. Help us at work. Give us insights on our nonprofit and our business. Help us write the book. We need others. So send them, Lord. Just like Moses had an Aaron, send them, Lord. Send them, Lord. I want to say thank you right now for what you're doing, for what you've done, and what you're going to do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Hey guys, I want to say thank you so much for listening. I hope this blessed somebody. I just want to encourage you to let it go. I think that's the word for tonight, to let it go. Oh, not tonight. It's just dark in my room. Just to let it go. Start your day off with letting something go. I don't care if it's coffee or if it's just something small, Like today, I'm not going to complain today. If something's thrown my way, I'm not going to complain. I'm going to find the joy in it, and I'm going to move in a direction of just acceptance. Some things I can change, some things I can't change, or at least I can't change today. And I'm going to be my best self. So today is Friday for me, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to go and do something for about 30 minutes by myself. I think I'm going to go work out because it's 7 and the kids normally wake up at about 8. They don't go to school, so I think I'm going to do that. If you're listening to this, tell me what you're doing today. Tell me what your one thing that you're going to let go of and do for yourself today. I love you, and I'll see you next time.